to The Parent Thing. I'm Taryn, and today we're talking about something that can make or break your parenting experience: sleep. Not just getting your kids to bed, not just surviving bedtime battles, but understanding the science of sleep. What's happening in your child's brain and nervous system, and how to create a bedtime routine that actually works. Bedtime struggles are really about behavior, they are about regulation. And once you understand that, everything shifts. So today we're going deep. We're going to talk about the neuroscience of sleep. We're going to talk about why some kids fight sleep, what sleep regressions really are, how to create a nervous system friendly bedtime routine, and what to do when it all falls apart. By the end of this episode, you'll feel empowered, not defeated. Take a breath before we start. Let's do this. So let's talk about the science of sleep. Sleep is not passive. Sleep is an active neurological process. When your child sleeps, a couple of things is happening. One, the brain is consolidating memory. So everything that happened in that day, the brain starts consolidating. The way I think about it is, if you've seen the movie Inside Out, sorry. If you've seen the movie Inside Out, when the kiddo goes to sleep and all these balls go into the brain, and then joy and sadness and anger and all of them like start sorting, short-term memory, long-term memory, all of that. That's what the brain is doing. It's consolidating memory, discarding what the brain does not perceive as important, storing what it does perceive as important, and so it goes. The other thing that's happening is emotional experiences are processed. Kids have huge feelings and no idea what to do with these feelings. So this is when the processing of those feelings actually happen. The other thing that happens is that their growth hormone is being released. Neural pathways are also strengthened during sleep, and the nervous system resets itself. So, sleep is actually a very busy time for the brain. During deep sleep, the lymphatic system literally washes metabolic waste from the brain. Sleep is brain development. We have two systems that control sleep. First system is sleep pressure, which is the adenosine buildup. And the second one, which most of us have heard of before, is the circadian rhythm, which is the biological clock. When kids skip naps or get overtired, cortisol rises. And here's the twist. Cortisol, how it shows up in children, makes them look wired, not tired. So they get hyper, they get silly, they get aggressive, they melt down. We've all seen an overtired child. An overtired child is a dysregulated child, not a defiant child. The thing about sleep for us as adults as well is that sleep requires surrender, and surrender requires safety. So how many nights have you as an adult laid there because you cannot surrender to your thoughts? You are worrying about something, you're running over a thought over and over and over again. And without surrender, you cannot sleep. Without safety, you can't surrender. So if a child's nervous system feels unsafe, they cannot power down. So at bedtime or coming close to bedtime, ask yourself or reflect on what the day was like, especially for your kiddo. Was the day overstimulating? Was there a disconnection? Were transitions rushed? Was there stress in the home? Or maybe you weren't able to spend enough time with them or as much time as they would like. Children borrow regulation from us. If bedtime feels tense, if bedtime feels rushed, or it feels frustrated, their bodies stay alert. If we look at this through the nervous system lens, when a child resists sleep, they are often in a sympathetic activation, which is an F response. It's your fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all those F responses. Or they are seeking connection. Just the other day, I watched a video of a little girl who was supposed to go to bed. And every time her dad said, okay, it's bedtime, she was like, but wait, I need to tell you this story. And wait, I need to tell you that story. Does that sound familiar? That is a kiddo seeking connection. Again, I say, for sleep to happen, it requires surrender. Surrender requires safety. Sometimes kiddos get a separation anxiety at bedtime because sleep means that they're going to bed. And for the most part, unless you are co sleeping, it means that they are not going to be with you. And so there's a kind of anxiety that happens. And so they'll stall and they'll avoid. And again, from a nervous system lens, that is a sympathetic activation. Bedtime resistance is often a kid trying to say, stay with me, see me, help me feel safe. If we look at this from a little bit of a practical standpoint, what can we do to create a bedtime routine that actually works? A bedtime routine is not about steps, it's about a rhythm. Step one should be predictability, same order, same tone, same time. Children relax into predictability. So, an example routine could look like taking a bath or washing up, putting pajamas on, dimming the lights, having some connection time that could look like reading a story or recapping the day, talking about what the best time of their day was or the worst time of their day was, just having that connection time. It could look like praying together or saying affirmations together, and then lights out. When you notice that your kiddo is wired, which means there may be cortisol present in the body, maybe do some regulation tools before you expect them to rest. So try rocking slowly, try deep pressure hugs, gentle massages, humming activates vagus nerve as well, slow breathing together, and I've got tons of other tools that you can do with your kiddo. And you can tell them, hey, let's help your body get sleepy. The next thing that I will never get tired of preaching about is connection before correction. If your child gets out of bed, cries, avoids, stalls, just respond calmly. Regulate yourself first, regulate them, and then you place the boundary. So, for the most part, it all sounds easy, but we have this little thing called sleep regression. Let's talk about it. The sleep regression is a temporary, I emphasize, even though it feels so permanent in the moment, it's a temporary disruption in sleep due to developmental changes. Common ages that it happens in is around 4 months, that 8 to 10 month mark. Then it happens again around 18 months when they turn 2 years, and then between like 3 and 4 years old. So those are the common ages that a sleep regression usually happens. Why do they happen? Because the brain is reorganizing. Children are learning new skills. There's new developmental milestones that happen. So they're learning to crawl, they're learning to walk, they're developing language, they're experiencing separation awareness, and then their sleep changes. Sleep regression is not a failure. It's not anything that you can do better or different. It just is a growth spurt in disguise. An inconvenient one at that, but it is a growth spurt in disguise. So, what can you do during sleep regression? You can stay consistent with your bedtime routine. So, while their brains are reorganizing, it helps so much when their routine stays the same because there's safety in the predictability. Another thing you could do is increase connection with them during the day, and at all costs, protect their naps. Make sure that they do get those little naps in during the day, even if it's not as long as what was normal for them. An important one is to expect the temporary disruption. When you manage that expectation, you are less frustrated because you expect and budget for less sleep for yourself. And then fifth, and I'll always preach this one as well, is always regulate yourself first, because you are going to be a tired parent that is affected as well by the regression. So regulate yourself first before handling your child. Sleep regression often lasts between 2 and 6 weeks, and it may feel longer. I get that. But just remember, their brain is organizing. This is developmentally appropriate, and we just have to, for lack of a better term, roll with the punches. But in this time, your nervous system, your calm nervous system, is the anchor. If bedtime feels exhausting, when it feels like a battle, check maybe if you could start the bedtime routine a little earlier, maybe more connection with them during the daytime or awake time, maybe less evening stimulation. And then also do an internal check and see maybe you are depleted. Maybe they are fine and they are going through the motions normally, but you are depleted. So bedtime feels more of an uphill battle. That could very well be it. When that is happening, children feel our resentment. They feel our hurry. So maybe try and slow bedtime down. Even if it feels counterintuitive, sometimes bedtime struggles are a signal that your child needs a little more of you. Before we close, let's regulate together. Let's do a little bit of a regulation exercise. So close your eyes if you're not driving and it's safe to do so. But just imagine your child sleeping peacefully. Notice their breath, their softness, their safety. And in that moment, remind yourself that your child is not giving you a hard time. They are having a hard time, and you can be their calm. Sleep is not about control, it's about connection, it's about safety, it's about rhythm. And when we support the nervous system, sleep follows. If this episode blessed you, please share it with another parent who needs hope. And remember, you are learning your child. And that's the parent thing.
Thank you for tuning into the parenting. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions,